Okay. Skill 2 is the one subject verb agreement trick. And this is actually my favorite trick because I actually use it. And very intelligent people with degrees make this mistake. And so it's a good way to check yourself. So remember me telling you that knowing your parts of speech is really important to doing well on the ACT, to writing well. And this is an example. So you need to know what a preposition is and a prepositional phrase to do this rule. And so in this sentence, I, with several other interns, were arriving at the Bermuda government offices. Okay, so here, with is a preposition. A prepositional phrase starts with a preposition and goes to a noun or a pronoun. So, with several other interns is the prepositional phrase. In order to identify the subject and the verb, we can get rid of the prepositional phrase. In these examples, the verb will come after the prepositional phrase and it will be underlined, and then we can identify the subject because it will come before it. And then when we get rid of the prepositional phrase, for instance, and this one is with several other interns, we will see if the subject and the verb agree and choose our answer accordingly. So if we were looking here and we said interns were, I, with several other interns, were arriving, that doesn't sound correct. But if we take away the prepositional phrase, with is the preposition, with several other interns is the prepositional phrase, then we know that the underlying portion is our verb phrase. Were is a being verb, arriving is an action verb. So were arriving is a verb phrase. And I comes before the prepositional phrase. That's a pronoun, and it is our subject. So I were arriving does not sound right. It would be I was arriving. So I, with several other interns, was arriving. But if we think that interns is our if we think that interns is our subject, it will sound wrong. So I was arriving. We don't need that prepositional phrase. Let's do a little more practice. So this ACT mantra sounds super like convoluted. It says when a verb is underlined, identify the subject and cross out any prepositional phrase. A prepositional phrase never counts as the subject of the verb. The easier way to remember it is when you have a prepositional phrase, take it away, and then your subject will come before it. Your verb or verb phrase will come after it. Make sure that the subject and the verb agree. Now, if I'm going too quickly, that's the beauty of having a video, is you can pause it and make sure that you get the writing down exactly. So we're going to practice a little bit here. Cross out any prepositional phrase between the subject and the verb and underline the subject of the bold verb in each of the following sentences. So if we look at this right here, Margarita with her sisters currently runs a marketing firm. You'll notice that the prepositional phrase here has commas around it, and sometimes it will. So our preposition is what? Yes, with. What is our prepositional phrase? It starts with the word with, which is a preposition, and goes to the noun. With her sisters. We're going to take that away. So we're going to take away the prepositional phrase with her sisters. Runs is our verb. The subject will come before the prepositional phrase. So it's Margarita. Margarita runs a marketing firm. That sounds right. Okay. Samurai, I think, is a warrior, a warrior. So we have the verb is. Of is our preposition, of all samurai is our prepositional phrase. We're nixing that. The word way is our subject. That's a noun. The way is a strict path. That's correct. Okay. Here, our prepositional phrase has commas around it. With is our preposition. With their dog Alfred is the prepositional phrase. Our verb is walk. and the subject will come before the prepositional phrase. It's a noun, so that's boys. The boys walk to school. But if I said the boys with their dog Alfred walk to school, Alfred walked to school, that wouldn't sound right. The PTA, through generous donations, is building a new school. So through is our preposition. Through generous donations is our prepositional phrase. Is our verb. And PTA is our subject, which is a noun. The PTA is building. That's correct. Okay, let's look at this next one. I think they should have not underlined the word cookies here. It should have been, have been is what should have been underlined for our verb phrase. So now let's see if this trick on a few questions. Grandma's procedure for baking cookies have been written. Baking cookies have been written in my mind. Okay, so for, that's our preposition. Our prepositional phrase is for baking cookies. Our verb phrase is have been. Have been. That's of being verbs. Now here, you could get hung up and say grandma's is a noun, but it's not. It's being used as an adjective in this sentence. It's modifying procedure. So grandma's procedure have been written in my mind. That does not sound right. It would be grandma's procedure has been written in my mind. Here, just so you know, a semicolon works like a period. So on your paper, write semicolon equals period. So that wouldn't make sense because the sentence wouldn't be have been written in my mind. That would not be a full sentence. And grandma's cookies being written in my mind, also not right. But they did make a mistake here on this one. It should be have been as our verb, not cookies have. Okay. Number 2. After the sticks of butter have softened. Okay, so our preposition is that. Our prepositional phrase is that. After the sticks have softened. Sounds right to me. So that's our answer. All right, let's look at number 3. Then 1/2 cup of brown and white sugar is added and stir. Okay, so is added is our verb phrase. We're going to find our preposition. That's of. So our prepositional phrase will start with of and go to the noun. So let's see if I can do this. Of brown and white sugars, we're going to delete that. 1/2 is serving as the adjective. Is added is our verb. So then 1/2 cup is added. That one's correct. So it's that answer. Okay, and then number 4. Then place the dough in the freezer for 1/2 hour and harden. When the cookies baking on the middle rack of the oven becomes ready, your nose will tell you. Okay, so this one has 2 prepositions and 2 prepositional phrases. So becomes ready, baking on the middle rack of the oven becomes ready sounds wrong, but bake on the middle rack. So on is a preposition and of is a preposition. So we have a long prepositional phrase. On the middle rack of the oven is what we get rid of. Baking is a verb, so we're going to say cookies is our subject. That's a noun. When the cookies baking becomes ready. Okay, so here's something that's a trick that will help you. Cookies ends with an S and becomes ends with an S. both your subject and your verb are not going to end in S. I don't know why, but they're not going to. So we know that since we're changing the verb, it's not going to be no change. It's going to be become ready. When the cookies become ready. That's right. Okay. So you will make sure that you write this on your paper as well as turn it into the Dropbox. Thank you.